really going to be positive for all of us. So I really want you to feel comfortable and ask questions. Residents under age 18, there's a 3-step licensing process that you must complete in order to get your license. Say about 12 to 16 years ago, most states across the United States changed the law. More young people were dying in accidents, more fatalities. So the legislators said, listen, we need to change the law. So the graduated license was created. And Ohio and Florida now make 21-year-olds come back to do more hours of defensive driving. I can see that happening 3 years out, 5 years out, 7 years out. What's up, E? How you doing? So, level 1 license. In order to receive your level 1 license, the residents must complete segment 1. All of you are in segment 1. It consists of 24 hours of class, 6 hours behind the wheel with an instructor. Okay, I'm a licensed instructor by the state. If I lived in New York, I would have a New York driver's education endorsement. If I lived in Texas, I would have a Texas endorsement. If I lived in Georgia, I would have a Georgia endorsement. Every instructor needs an endorsement based on the state they live in. I wish they had a national driver's ed endorsement where you could go across the United States, because I think a lot of people want to obtain their license, but they don't know what to do. Okay? So when this class is over and your driving is done, you're going to have a segment 1 certificate that's going to be emailed to you. You have to have a valid social security number. When you're born, all of us have a number that is issued by the state and federal government. Okay? That's a long story. Next, you got to have proof of residence. If you're a Texas resident, your mail should say the state of Texas. If you're a New York resident, it should say state of New York. If you're a Michigan resident, it should say state of Michigan. If you are a Florida resident, it should say the state of Florida. Okay? Put questions down as I go over this. I'm going to answer one question. When at a 4-way intersection, does the driver on the left or right has the right of way? The driver on the right, R-I-G-H-T, always has the right of way. A lot of beginning drivers and older drivers forget that. They get lazy, and this is when accidents happen. If you're not sure, you could give the person the right of way by waving them through. But if you're on your test and you give up your right of way, you could fail. So you want to be doing 4-way stops. You want to be going in and yielding. You want to be making right turns, left turns, roundabouts. You got to do all those necessary things to pass your test, T-E-S-T. Level 1 license allows the individual to drive with someone over the age of 21. 30 hours of supervised driving, which 2 are at night, N-I-G-H-T. You got to learn how to drive at night. And because we're into the winter months, it can start at 5:30. Some of you who have that drive of 5 to 7, you're going to be driving at night. That's fine. Okay? It's really important. Thank you, E. Appreciate you. Let's keep moving. Level 2. You're going to come back to see me in 3 months. Some states is 4 months. Some states is 5 months. New York is different than Michigan. Michigan is different than New Jersey. New Jersey is different than Texas. Texas is different than Wyoming. Wyoming is different than California. Every state is different. So you need to know this. So this is why you have to look up whatever driver must know from your state. Level 2 allows the individual to drive alone at all times except between 10 and 5 a.m. So the state has decided if you're under a certain age, you should not be driving at night. I know some of you hate it. The state has control. They do. The state owns our license. We don't. If I'm driving in New York, it says state of New York. If I'm driving in Michigan, it says state of Michigan. If I'm driving in Texas, it says state of Texas. Example, my son played football in Texas. He doesn't have a Texas license because he's not really a resident. He's there for a short time. My son went to Belo Horizonte, Brazil to play pro football for a year, Team Galo. He is not applying for his operator's license in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. They do drive manuals. I think he knows how to drive stick shift. I could be wrong. So if you're in college, you're there temporarily, you're going to drive, stay there for 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, okay? And you're going to live in a dorm or live in an apartment. You're going to have an out-of-state driver's license, okay? They can only drive during the time frame if at least one of the following applies. If they're accompanied with their parent or guardian. So if you have a parent or guardian, you can drive after 10 p.m. If you have a parent or guardian, you can drive to or from a school event. Let's pretend Graham is a wrestler. He's all-state. He got invited to go to a tournament in New York. He can drive to New York, but remember the rules and laws may be different, okay? Let's pretend Olivia is a swimmer. She qualified for the Nationals. She's going to Florida. You can drive to Florida, but you got to follow Florida rules. Real talk, okay? These are some good examples. You can't be on your cell phone, Kelsey's Law. Kelsey was a young lady who was on her cell phone and got killed. Her mom petitioned the state and got a law passed. It's called Kelsey's Law. Yeah, you got to show gratitude. You always have to be humble. Even for me, if I get a ticket, a really bad speeding ticket, I lose my driver's license endorsement. Why would I do that? Okay, let's go to some of your questions. Put questions in. Question for a driving test, what is the minimum points? Why are we going minimum? I don't say minimum. I'm not mid. I want you to have 70. The mid is 56%. This means you've missed over 25 questions. If you missed over 25 questions, you didn't study, you didn't study, you didn't study. I'm an educator. You have to do the study guides. You have to do the quizzes. You need to participate. I already know. Okay, I didn't let Brianna be off the hook. I made her work. She stepped up. I didn't let Olivia off the hook. She stepped up. I didn't let E off the hook. She stepped up. If you know that I'm not going to give up on you, you're going to try harder. I'm not going to let you opt out. Level 3 license. In order to receive level 3 license, the individual must at least be 17 years old. In New York, it's different. You have a junior license. In New Jersey, it's different. In Atlanta, Georgia, it's different. In Kentucky, it's different. Every state has different requirements. Okay? The individual must at least be 17, have had a level 2 license for a minimum of 6 months. And 12 consecutive months violation free. No speeding tickets. No running stop signs. No illegally parked. You can get a certain number of parking tickets eventually. They will come for your license. But you don't want to start getting parking tickets. The level 3 license allows the individual to drive without any restrictions. So around 17, you're a free person. I'm going into more questions. Put these questions in. We talked about Kelsey's Law. Does Kelsey's Law include GPS? No. It's on your cellular device. But if you feel for your safety, if you are in an emergency, you can use your phone. If I did the pretest on paper, do I send it to you? Yes, you do. You're going to send me a screenshot of that. That's my way of checking. Let's go with more questions. You have to know the rules of the road. Ignorance is no excuse. Time is good. Put in more questions. The one question that Brianna has put in, does Kelsey's Law include GPS or with built-in screens in some cars? Cars today have the infotainment centers, GPS, your phone syncs up. So technically, you don't really have to be on your phone, but that's a distraction. Parking tickets, they can come for your license after a year. So let's pretend you get a bunch, let's pretend Graham, he got like 5 parking tickets. You didn't say anything for a year. Graham, you're going to get a letter home and your license is going to be suspended. They go come for you. So you better pay those parking tickets. Thank you. Is the test written or behind the wheel? They're both. You have a written test, which is a knowledge test. In level 1, 80 questions. Some states it's 100 questions. Ohio, I think it's 100 questions. Every state is different. Our state has 80 questions. Some states have 100. Some states have 120 questions. Whew, that's a lot, right? A morning ritual that sets you up for a good day. A morning ritual that sets you up for a good day. I drink my coffee. What do you do? It's the test written. You have a written test, 80 questions. You got to score a minimum score to pass. And then you have behind the wheel, where I'm evaluating you. And the driving company has increased their requirements. I want to make a copy of it. I got to understand it, but I'm going to scan that, and maybe tomorrow we'll talk about the requirements. Because if you don't meet a minimum score, you won't pass. So I believe in, this is why I meet your parents. I meet mom, I meet dad, I meet grandma, I meet auntie, I meet your older brother, your older sister. I meet the whole family. I always tell them how you do, good or bad. I need more questions. Come on. How many tests do you have in all? At level 1, you have a written test, and then you're going to have your driving evaluation with me. When you're 17, thank you, Ivy. When you're 17, you're going to have your road skills test, your road test. We'll talk about that. You're going to have to take a vision test. If you can't see or wear contacts, you might have a restricted license. How many questions on the test? 80 questions. But I have quizzes that have 80. I have quizzes that have 100. But I'm on the free version. If I get on the paid version, I can hit you with 100. And that will really help you. A lot of my students love the quizzes. Love the quizzes. It is called responsibility. You need to be responsible. For some of you, like, what is that? Doing your homework. Resting before you drive. I could drive some of you 4:30 to 6:30, 8:30 to 10:30, but that would burn me out. If I can get you scheduled on the weekend, I'm good. So I can be fresh and ready. How many questions are you allowed to get wrong? Over 24. But if you miss 24 questions, you really don't need to be driving. Real talk. Yes, to Lance Cruz. Yes. Level 2, they limit it. They limit the number of people. We'll do that another day. How many points before you lose your license? 0 points. 0 points. Because you're on probation for 3 years. If you get a ticket, that's going to trigger a response from the Secretary of State. And then you're going to get a letter. And then your parents' insurance is going to go up. Because none of you can afford insurance because it's really expensive. It's very expensive because we have a lot of drivers who are uninsured, who are driving and get in accidents, and those costs are passed on to all of us. And if your mom or dad has a really expensive car, the insurance is higher. If you have an older car, 2012, 2015, or 2017, or 2020, it's 2026. If you drive a 2020 that's 6 years old, insurance is low. You drive a 2021, it's low. My son has got a 2018 Charger GT. His insurance is the highest in the house because it's the Charger. Those cars they get stolen very easily. His car's from 2018. He's got the highest insurance in the house. I used to have an SRT Jeep. That was fast. That insurance was crazy. I didn't have accidents, but some vehicles cost more to insure than others. How long do you have to wait for segment 2? 3 months. Although let's not talk about a Hellcat or a Trackhawk. The Charger Hellcats that cost $85,000 to $90,000 that you really can't afford. And then the tires cost $500 a piece. And it takes premium gas. It costs $70 to fill up. And the insurance is stupid high. Those cars, the insurance is over $900 a month. But people love those cars because they're fast, they're powerful, right? You hear them coming down the street. You're like, man, That's my neighbor. They got a Hellcat, Mango Orange, Charger, wide body. Those cars are beautiful, but they get stolen. They get stolen. They get stolen. The T-Rex, that's another super monster truck with the Hemi engine in there. It costs 85 to 100,000. They steal those all the time. But people love them. Segment 2, you got to wait 3 months for segment 2. I'll see some of you in 3 months. Some of you I won't, because you'll miss a day. Ivy, I'll see her next month. Some of you are in here for makeup. You won't get your segment 2 in 3 months because you missed a class or you got sick or whatever. You have to be here, and this is really important. It happens. When do we start level 2 training? In 3 months. What are some exceptions allowed to get your license early? They are none, unless you have a real unique family situation. Maybe your mom and dad has cerebral palsy. They have seizures. They can't drive anymore. You're the only eligible driver in the house. You're going to need a medical excuse. You're going to have 3 or 4 medical excuses. You're going to have an examination at the Secretary of State. They're going to have to come in. There's a lot of steps involved, but the state, it's not just going to give you a license at a young age to say, hey, you're 15, here's your full license. You're 14, here's your full license. You have to really show due cause. And that'd be a great question to look up. Love that. Thank you. That's a good question. When are we going to drive on the main roads? Or are we going to drive in parking lots and do parallel parking? We start in the parking lots. We go up and down the parking lots. We work on right turns, left turns. We'll go around the light posts, do figure eights, hand over hand in, hand over hand out to teach you to look left. All of you should be listening to this. If you want to be good drivers, this is how I teach. You're going to start in the parking lot. You're going to go up and down the aisles. We're in America. You stay in the middle right. When you come to the end, I'm going to tell you to turn right. You look left and right, you use your blinker. I'm going to tell you to turn left. You look left or right, you turn on your blinker. We stop, we look, we check. You're building those basic motor skills. You see a red sign with the word stop, S-T-O-P, you stop. You see a yellow light, you cover your brake and slow down. We're not developing dangerous habits. Dangerous habits, running lights, speeding, not looking left and right, cutting pedestrians off. If you're driving aggressive, I'm not going to drive you. I will call your mom and dad. Mom and dad, come get your son. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to rush myself. I take my time. Quality is better than quantity. Parallel parking, I try to get it on the second drive or first drive. We'll go to a downtown area, neighborhoods. We'll learn to parallel park. You have to know how to parallel park. It is on the road test. You have to know how to parallel park. I don't wait till the last drive. Around drive 4 or 5, we go on the expressway. Everyone's a little bit different. I love the question. Thank you. What's the easiest thing to drive? There's none of them. Everything is difficult. Some people can't keep the car straight in the lane. It's called lane line reference. Some people panic at roundabouts. Some people panic on the expressway. Some people panic making left turns. Some people can't back up. So everyone is different. So I have to be humble and listen to your answer. Each of you have a different level. Some of you learn from your brother and sister. Some of you are the first child in the family. Some of you are the last child in the family. And I'm going to ask your parent, are they the last child? Get in the car and drive. Are they the first child? Your mom and dad are nervous. Bye, honey. We love you. And then they go Facebook Live. All of your parents are tracking me. You have Life 360. Hey, we saw you go around the block 10 times. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for tracking us. Hey, we saw you do the parallel park 10 times. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Hey, we saw you back up and do reverse and go down 10 miles away. That's fine. But your parents are tracking us, and that's okay. I don't do anything illegal. Where do you take a screenshot, send it to me. When should you do before merging? You accelerate, you pick up speed, you look over your shoulder. Thank you, good question. What do we do specifically after we complete the course? You're gonna get an email from the third-party driver's education school. What happens is they're going to scan a copy of your drive card. It's going to go into your digital folder. That copy is going to be sent to the state. They're going to check your test, attendance, drive card. If everything is good, you're going to be emailed a digital certificate of completion. Back in the day, I would have the green permits. I still have a few. They would have your name on there and birth date. You're happy, I'm dancing, you're dancing. Your parents hug me, I hug them, I give you a high five, and I'm like, bye-bye. But it's different today. Because if your name is spelled wrong, you got to wait. If your birth date is wrong, it's actually more efficient that we have a digital system. And in the future, you're going to take your driver's education test on your phone. What is the state waiting for? Because that would save me a trip, getting your test, getting them in alphabetical order, putting them in an envelope, driving to the corporate, dropping them off in the mailbox. Someone's got to open them up, look at them, check your name that they can't read because you didn't listen to me. My endorsement just covers the state I'm in. So in the future, it'll be more efficient. We're already there. And some of you are here for makeup because you missed the class or we didn't get your drives done in a certain amount of time. Where do we do? I already talked about that. You're going to drive in the parking lot. You're going to make 12 right turns in the neighborhoods, turning hand over hand. You're going to make 12 left turns in the neighborhood, turning hand over hand. We're going to do parallel parking. We're going to drive around the neighborhood, going around to the right. I'm keeping track of time, going around to the left. We're going to do 3-point turnarounds. Let's keep going. If you are 18 or older, you need to have your Social Security number. You need to show proof of U.S. citizenship or legal residence and proof of identity. And then you get your TIP. Your TIP is your temporary instruction permit. You can drive with someone over 21. Some teens wait until they're 18 because they're like, man, I'm too old. Well, you're enrolled in the class. If you're 18, you can't take a Segment 1 driver's education. Every state is different. Where are we driving at? We drive in the parking lot. We drive in neighborhoods. We practice going through the light poles, figure eights, left turn, right turn. We practice going in stall parking spots, angle parking spots. Why can't I get my full license at 16? You can. It depends on when you take Segment 1. It depends on when you get done with your driving. It depends on when your parents want to take you out. If your parents don't want to take you out, then you won't drive. You need to have 30 hours in 3 months. 30 hours in 3 months. So if your mom and dad don't want to take you out, then you're not going to have 30 hours in 3 months. Graham, let's pretend you didn't do your homework. You cussed out mom. You screamed at dad. You better not. You're not going to get your license if your grades are in the toilet. You got to work, Graham. Your parents paid a lot of money. You don't get into the class and voila, you get your license. I'm evaluating you guys. I don't think you know this. If you can't drive, I'm not going to sign off. I'm going to tell your mom and dad, you going to be crying? I'm not going to be crying. I talked to your mom on the second drive, the fourth drive, and the last drive. Oh, thank you, sir. I guess we're going to sign up for 3 more hours. That's $40 an hour. It's serious, guys. This is why I'm going to explain it to you. You clocking his tea. So it's serious. So it depends on your birth date when you get your hours. Okay? Some of you like to plan backwards. If you plan backwards from 16, you need to be enrolled in Segment 1. You need to be 1410, 15-1, 15-2, 15-3, 15-4, 15-5. You can't rush Segment 1 and Segment 2. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. How do you build all the habits drivers need. Brianna, I like the thinking. It comes over time. How do you become a good video gamer? You lock in after school. You practice by yourself on the server. You play people who are better than you. You learn different maneuvers. How do you become a good athlete? You lift weights. You get a trainer. You go to different competitions. How to become an honor roll AP 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. You get AP classes, you do all the work, you pass the test. You have to put in work. But Brianna, some of you won't want to put in the work. You're going to be mid. That's what one of my students say. You're going to be mid. I just want to get a C. I just get a B minus. I got a 3.1, I'm good. But you need a 3.7 to go to University of New York. You need a 3.9 to go to a special law school. You have to want to put in the work. But over time, if your mom and dad are stressing those fundamentals, your instructor stressed those fundamentals, your instructor gave you a good evaluation and told you why, I think it's out of 40 points. Don't hold me to that. And if you're not at the minimum, you won't pass. For some of you, you're going to be nervous. But I'll explain it. Where do we go? And I already talked about where we go on our first drive. So we go into neighborhoods, making 12 right turns, 12 left turns, parking lots, doing figure eight. A lot of people feel entitled. So right. Oh, I signed up for the class. I'm going to pass. No, you're not. What you mean? No, I'm not. I've talked to your parent. I've texted the office. I have a problem student. Oh, okay, sir. We'll get them off your hands. Communication is important. Do you realize there are millions and millions of students who want to do driver's ed and there are a limited number of instructors? We meet at the high school. What age can you get your full license? It depends on when you take segment 2. It depends on when you get your hours. In our state, you have to have 50 hours. And you have to have taken segment 2. But if you get a ticket, you can't take segment 2. One kid got kicked out last time. He got a ticket. Title means ownership of the vehicle. Okay, let's keep going through. TIP, that's for someone over 18. It's like an adult license. You drive for 30 days. And if you don't have anyone to drive you, you keep renewing it and renewing it and renewing it because your mom and dad are like, we're busy. We don't have time to take you out. I understand, Mom. You're 19, still don't have a license. I understand, Dad. You're 20, still don't have a license. Because you don't have a job, you're in your mama's basement. Chauffeur's license. Must have a driver's license at least be 16. A commercial driver's license. Must have a driver's license, pass the knowledge test and road test. Must at least be 18. You want to drive a school bus? You got to have a commercial driver's license. Moped license. Unlicensed teens age 15 up can apply with a parental computer. Motorcycle endorsement. Must have completed a lot of you love motorcycles. You want to be in that crotch rocket, right? A lot of you love motorcycles, man. Real talk. The HTS. Let's see what number I'm on. HTS. I'm going to go through one more page. HTS, and then we're going to do a couple quizzes. HTS, that's the Highway Transportation System. Laws that govern the HTS, the National Traffic Motor Vehicle Act, legislating safety for cars, trucks, recalls of vehicles. The National Highway Safety Act establishes general guidelines for state regulations concerning vehicle registration and inspection. Some states, New Jersey, New York, you have to bring your car in for inspection. We don't have that. The Uniform Traffic Control Device Act. All traffic lights are the same. They're yellow. Red is at the top, yellow is in the middle, green is at the bottom. Now, some states, they're horizontal instead of vertical. But in questions, state laws require, when following the guidelines set by the federal laws, they enact states that regulate. For instance, crossing a solid white line in our state may or may not get you a ticket. In New York, it could get you a ticket. In Texas, it may not get you a ticket. You need to know the laws about solid white lines. I'm giving you an example. You should cross the solid white line when it's a broken white line. Yellow means slow down. A lot of you will speed up and then you're going to fail. We don't run yellow lights because you're learning a dangerous habit that will get us killed and you will get a ticket. Because if you run a yellow light in certain communities, they're going to pull you over. Local government, cities and towns that pass laws that regulate the use of the HTS within their region. Example, maybe people speed in a certain school zone, so they now have speed limit cameras. They now have other things to give motorists who speed tickets. Pedestrians always have the right of way. We're going to end on number 2, then I'm going to get you a quizzy. Responsibilities of road users. Every driver shares the HTS. It's your responsibility for knowing the rules. Ignorance is no excuse. Every driver has 4 basic legal responsibilities. 1, make sure you're in good shape. 2, make sure your vehicle is in good physical shape before driving. If your car breaks down, that's on you. If you're sick or overweight or diabetic and you need to take your medication, or you shouldn't be driving. 3, make sure you have the necessary driver's license requirements to operate your vehicle. And then number 4, must be able to satisfy the demands for state financial responsibility. You got to have insurance. Every driver must expect the unexpected in order to reduce the element of risk. Your safety is your responsibility. Type in what you learned. Type in what you learned, then I'm going to hit you with a couple quick quizzes, and then we're going to see some videos. I'm going to the questions. I like this question. If you have an older car, like a late 90s truck, would the insurance be lower? Yes. Drive that 90s truck. Drive that 90s truck. It's a real heavy-duty vehicle. Your insurance will be lower. Usually after 5 to 7 years, your insurance will be lower. Get that 90s truck. Get new tires, get some bright headlights, new windshield wipers, new filter, fresh battery, new hoses. Boom, you are rolling. Rolling, man. Get that 90s truck. Love that question. I learned ABT about driving. Pedestrians had a right of way. Driving locations. Be ready for anything. Thank you. Pedestrians have the right of way. HTS. Defensive driving. That's now 25 to 30% because pedestrians have headphones in. People are not paying attention. We're not hating on Teslas. We love Wham Bam Tesla. But a lot of people have self-driving. The car might run a light. It might cut you off. And I'm not hating on Tesla. I'm a Tesla fanboy. But there are a lot of cars that are changing. Technology is changing. The new Rivian is coming out. Okay? You guys are used to self-driving cars. Okay? And you will be driving that in the next 3 to 5, 7 years. I had 2 students last year. Parents have Teslas. They're driving. I'm like, whoa. Be cautious. Uber and Lyft. Okay? A lot of people don't want to drive Uber and Lyft. I went to Texas. I did Uber. I never drove it before. I gave it the wrong address. They charged my credit card. My daughter was laughing at me. Dad, what did you do? I don't know. But I wasn't used to Uber and Lyft. But it was about $20 per ride. That's a lot of money for a person who's not going to drive. Okay, we're going to do a couple of quick quizzes. Give me 1 second. You guys can join in too. You're going to join myquiz.com. Give me 1 second. Man, this is a great class. I love it. Real talk. It's nice to get back into the swing of things. Your questions were awesome. And we're going to put in joinmyquiz.com. And I'll give you a code. Maybe later. Bam. They always want to know what I am. Okay, I have a library of all right. This is going to be a really good one for you guys. This is a tougher one, and I'm going to be tougher on you. You're going to go to joinmyquiz.com, joinmyquiz.com. All of you need to go to joinmyquiz.com. This is the digital portion. This is what separates the older teachers from the younger teachers. This is what separates a first-year teacher from a 10th-year veteran who comes in. Here's your packet. Here's your digital assignment. You have a virtual quiz in 20 minutes. Here's your exit ticket. Boom, boom, boom. I have data. 5 of you failed. 5 of you got an A. 5 of you got a B. It's a bell-shaped curve. Okay, I'm going to give you a code. It's joinmyquiz.com. This is where the fun part goes in. We're going to share. Okay, joinmyquiz.com. I'll give you the code. Joinmyquiz.com. 578603. 578603. What you said. Okay, time is good. We'll be jumping into part 2. I'll probably get you guys going today. But we spent some time. Thank you. 578603. Joinmyquiz.com. All of you need to lock in. We got to do reading. If you don't like to read or don't know how to read, you're going to miss these questions. It's not a race. Joinmyquiz.com. I like the online portion. It's fun. Joinmyquiz.com. joinmyquiz.com. Really, we're just trying to make sure all of you learn. I like it that I'm following the curriculum. We're going to do the quizzy. We might be able to see a couple of videos today. If not, that's fine. We'll see them tomorrow. Okay. All of you got 3 drives. I don't have to stress. I can take my time. It is a little stressful, but we got you locked in. I'll give you another moment. I need everyone to lock in. JoinMyQuiz.com. My other teacher didn't do this. I'm not your other teacher. Gabriella, what's up?
Do you have a way of like removing the one that I just logged in with?
No, because if I remove you, it won't allow you to come back in.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Lock in. You guys have used this before. Your educators are doing this. Your teachers are doing this. Your coaches are doing this. Your AP teachers are doing this. Okay? I can see the data. I can see who got it right, who got it wrong. I'm on the free version. You don't want me to get the paid version. Ooh, I can email your parents. It'll go straight into my grade book. Ooh, that's where we are. I did learn this from COVID. Post-COVID, pre-COVID, I would be in person. I would use Kahoot. I don't use Kahoot anymore, okay? Because a lot of these online assessment tools are now here. And this is the free version. After, I think about 5 gigs, I have to delete some of the stuff. I used to use I used to use Kahoot prior to 2019, 2020 and book it. Now, I use Quizzy, and many of you are like, I love this. Hey, I love it, man. Come on. We love that. And that's one of the American, actually, this is it's a Polar Sausage or something. You trying to be funny? Clock his teeth. All right, guys, I'm going to say the code again. I want to get started. 578603. JoinMyQuiz.com. Here we go. Let's eat. There are 15 questions. Go. This is when you can ask me questions if you like. Just put them in. This is a great online session. And you get a chance to see a masterclass. I really appreciate you. It's nice getting back into the groove, routine. I feel pretty happy. Some good news may happen next week. I can't say anything yet. It's about my son. He's up in Lake Placid, and you say he's 4 hours north of you. So I can't say anything yet until it's official. And then he'll probably post on Instagram, and then I can tell you more. But he might be up there another 2 weeks. And thank you. He needs that. A lot of good things have happened. Some crazy things have happened. And starting back, when everyone's off Christmas break, it's tough. One of my students, one of my coworkers, she got into an accident. Someone hit her car. Like, she say maybe a driver under an influence hit her car. So I'm like, girl, what happened to your car? Someone hit me. I'm like, what? So anything can happen. Your car could be out. That's the new side. So you got that right. A lot of people do run insurance scams, particularly on trucking companies. So they have cameras in the cab and then outside, because liability insurance for truck drivers and trucking companies is very, very high. So yeah, they can get that extra money. That's crazy. People do that though. That's crazy, man. Put your questions in. Because every morning when I'm on Interstate I-94, there are trucks coming from Canada all the time. They come from Canada up through New York. They come the 401 through New York. They take that all the way down. They come on 94. They take 94 through the metro area, through to Chicago, Indiana. There's a lot of truck traffic in the morning, and it's crazy. And one of my drivers, we almost got sideswiped by a semi truck because the garbage truck was coming out. He was scared to push the gas. I'm like, push the gas. The semi truck driver was blinking his lights like, get over. And I'm like, we got stuck in the middle, and I had to turn the wheel. We almost got ran over by a semi truck. That happened yesterday. That's scary. So I always have to be on my job. Always have to be attention. Always. It's crazy, man. And this job can be very stressful. So this is why I'm saying 2032, I'm going to do something else. I love teaching, getting them ready. And then, of course, we talked about Mr. Road Ready. He does those adults. I do the adults and teens. So he's very successful too. And his mother owns a driving company, and they do test prep. So people are always on the go. A lot of people from Chicago, New York, Florida, they're just coming through. Okay. And I've been up through your area before. My son has had tournaments there. So that's what's scary too. Some semi-truck drivers have fallen asleep at the wheel. I'm not an expert. I would love to have a semi-truck driver come on and share their opinion. At one point, I wanted to be a semi-truck driver, but my wife said, "Are you crazy?" you'll never be home. I'm never home enough now. Okay. So the way I have my drive set up, I drive on the weekend. Uh, 3-hour blocks. I take breaks. You got to stack up money. It's a lot of work. So after this, I have to drive a couple of students. It's hard during the week. So a morning ritual that sets you up. I drink coffee. No, they don't know what's going on. And you got to teach people. And there are a lot of young semi-truck drivers. Once I see all of you are done, we'll lock back in. We got 13 minutes. So I try to stay away from semi-trucks, but occasionally you have beginning drivers. They're scared to push the gas. We're merging out at 45 or 50. A semi-truck driver's going 70. They can't just stop. And I'm serious. I saw the semi-truck driver flashing his lights or her lights, right? And then that garbage truck. I thought we could accelerate past the garbage truck, but my student driver got scared. He lifted his foot. The garbage truck was coming. Sorry, I'm down. I apologize. I'm good. So, my job is very hazardous because I'm driving people who do not know how to drive. I have to be really clear on my directions because you don't know what a teen or adult could do. They could panic. They could hit the brake. So it is very dangerous. So I have to really kind of have eyes in the back of my head. I got to really be aware. 3 of you are complete. Come on, let's finish up. Let's finish up so we can go over this. Just be in that defensive mindset. You always want to be in a defensive mindset. What could happen? I want to make sure I don't rush my adult and teen drivers to make turns or left turns because they panic. I tell them where to look. And a lot of younger instructors just don't want to put the time in. You got to want to put the time in to teach someone how to drive. You got to want to get better all the time. I try to go to many professional developments as possible because I want to learn from my peers. Okay. And there's several instructors. Mr. Road Red, he wants to come on. I have another instructor that wants to come on. I want to get us to have a discussion, whether a podcast or video cast, where we have all 3 instructors on. The camera goes from each person. That would be really cool. And then you can learn. And all I have to do is just organize. I've just been slacking. I've been really slacking because I've been tired. But it's 26. I got some good energy. I'm trying to be more organized. But it's a grind. I'm looking at my schedule all the way through to February. I drive on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. You're like, what? Yeah, I do. But that's the choice I make. Okay, I'm just looking through my schedule right now. So it's a big commitment. So I try to keep it real with all of you. 100%. I'm keeping it real. And that's all we can do. It's just keep it real. Let's hurry up and finish up, guys. I want to take my time and go over this. Looks like most of you are almost done. A few more. Finish up, please. Finish up, please. Finish up. And then we're going to go over the answers. It was just a great session today. A lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of positivity. Usually we have people on who are just saying crazy stuff. All right, guys and ladies, I'm going to go ahead and end this for time's sake. And we're going to go over this right now. And this is data. Okay, 72% of the people completed the quiz on time. The average, the class answered 83% of the questions correct. That's good. Number 2 question was the toughest. Which organization was answered incorrectly by 7 out of 18? So number 2 question was tough. The longest question was 15. Bright sunlight, or sunshine took an average of 6 minutes, 7 seconds to answer. So that was a tough question. So I could break it down. I could view the report. I could assign this as homework, which I've done before. I'm going to view the report. Now I have data. Okay, I can see who got all the questions wrong. I can see who got all the questions right. So I want to go over the actual questions. Okay, and then I can click on buttons to see who got them right, who got them wrong. First question, which organization is mentioned as highlighted the importance of public safety in driving tests? It, according to this, is the World Health Organization. 11 of you got it right. 6 of you said National Safety Council. That's wrong. 1 of you said United Nations. That's wrong. So we got 78% average. That's not bad. Let's go to the next. Fill in the blank. The driving test aims to assist not just skills, but judgment. 14 of you got it right. Yay. 3 of you said memory. No, you have to learn judgment. Hazards. Number 3, explain why creating safe habits during driving tests is considered a critical for new drivers. Support your answer with evidence from the passage. Sounds like a test. It is. Creating safe habits during the test is critical for new drivers because it helps them develop lifelong skills. Period. Number 4, read the passage carefully. Which organization reports that speeding is a factor in about 1/3 of all fatal crashes? The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They reported that. 16 of you got it right. Good job. Driving significantly slower than the flow of the traffic can cause congestion. This is what you do, beginning drivers. You drive too slow because you're scared. You're going to frustrate other drivers. You're going to make road rage. I don't want that to happen to you, but it will happen. Number 6, matching the general flow of traffic is considered for safe driving because it helps prevent accidents by reducing speed differences. Number 7, instructions. Answer the following based on about driving situations and common problems. Which of the following is a common problem when approaching T intersections? This is the T intersection. Failing to judge the speed. This is what a lot of you as beginning drivers will do. You haven't learned how to judge speed. Next, number 8, when overtaking a cyclist, what's a common problem? Passing too close, not giving enough space, a full lane if possible, pulling back too soon. Number 9, entering a yellow box junction without a clear exit can cause issues with other road users because it can block the junction and prevent other vehicles from moving. It's called gridlock. I love it that I'm taking my time and I have good energy, even though I have to drive tonight. Recall the problem associated with parallel parking as described in the passage. So if you guys don't like reading, you'll miss this problem. 16 of you got it right. Hitting the curb is failure. On your test, hitting something is failure. Finishing too far away, failure. Not checking mirrors and blind spots, failure. You have to look over your shoulder, even if you have a backup camera. What situation involved the risk is not applicable, as a child is following, as a child is coming, if you're driving through a neighborhood and you see a ball rolling out, you want to anticipate, cover the brake, slow down. 12, is it dangerous to drive too fast over residential area? Yes, because you can't see pedestrians, you can't see kids that may be go between cars, and your school parking lot. So you guys think you're safe in school parking lot? No, you're not. I'm gonna take you there when you get out of school. Oh no. The seniors are gonna run you over. The teachers are gonna run you over. Your mom and dad are gonna run you over because they gotta pick up their little brother or sister. When joining a fast-moving dual carriageway, why is it important to match the speed? It's important to match the speed, true. Bright sunlight at dawn or dusk can affect a driver's ability to perceive hazards. Which of the following is an effective way to mitigate these risks? Use a sun visor or wear sunglasses. Fill in the blank. When reversing around a corner, what's a common problem? Poor steering control. A lot of you will have poor steering control. You can't back into a driveway. You may know how to drive, but you can't back up. That's steering control. Not staying close to the curb. You hit the mailbox. You sideswipe mom and dad's car. You get on your neighbor's grass, and they look at you like, get off my grass. Failing to observe approaching traffic or pedestrians. We have 3 minutes. Type in what you learned. Everyone type in what you learned into the chat. Let's go. This is a good day. We got 3 minutes. We got a quizzy. We got 3 drives scheduled. We got day 1 done. I see who my people are putting in that work. I love it. It's only going to get better. I'm happy for Saturday and Sunday. You will be nervous. I will go over the new evaluation system. I need to scan a copy. I have my computer down here. I got to scan a copy, and then we'll talk about that tomorrow. Type in what you learned. Everyone needs to do this. Please and thank you. This is a great day. Come on. I love these great days. I love the energy in my class. I can see who my people are who putting in work. Put in work means you participate. You show love. You show care. I can tell by the questions you ask. Some of you are just asking random questions. Some of you are asking really thinking questions. And you will get better as you go on. So I like the chemistry in the class, and I try to make it that way. I want to say thank you. I really enjoyed the class. I will see you guys later. Bye. Subscribe.